All right, Cannonball Nation, just a couple minutes away from going live with this one. Good to see you guys all piling in. Mike Draco in the house. Dalton, good to see you guys. Just 8 minutes, we're going live with this. Make sure you hit the share and like button. Send this thing around to all your friends and family. Grab a cold one and kick back. We got a great show tonight. Cannonball Chronicles. 8 minutes. Stick around. Just past the 4-minute mark and Cannonball Nation's in the house strong. Good to see you guys here tonight. Chris Noah in the house. Missy checking in from Ligonier, PA. She's out there covering a bike night for us. Good job, Missy. Hey, I want to thank everybody out in the Chopper Town universe helping us pass this information along. Everybody over at the CycleSource family, thank you guys for keeping us up on the air. You can always go to cyclesource.com to see the program live. We have it up on our media feed there. Just 3 minutes now. 3 minutes. We're going live with Cannonball. Get ready. Oh, I got to come on for just a minute here. Duncan Robertson's in from Canada. Man, we miss seeing you guys down here. We miss coming up there. Glad you could share this with us tonight. Bill Redenso in the house. Number 64. Hey guys, remember to put your numbers up too. We want your numbers if you got a plate and a Cannonball. We want to know where you're coming in from. Great to have you all here on a Wednesday night. 2 minutes. All right, with just a minute left on the clock, we're going to pull this thing out of the station, get it up on the tracks. It's time to go live with Cannonball Chronicles. Here we go.
Hey there, Cannonball Nation. Happy hump day. I'm here with you. I'm Jason Sims. Beautiful Wednesday morning. Couldn't be better. I'm just out of words already. Let me bring in my co-host, Robbie Nussbaum from Retrocycle. Robbie, what's happening, buddy? I don't either. It's been such a crazy weekend. Crazy week.
Crazy.
Last show last Wednesday. It's been a lot of fun. What have you been up to over there in Jersey?
I've been watching you. I've been watching you having fun while I'm working my butt off over here. What have you been doing? Tell us what you were doing. If everybody hasn't seen you on Facebook already, what is it you've been up to, Jason?
This weekend I met up with a bunch of buddies over in Colorado. We put this trip together a while back. A couple of these guys did, and they invited me here not long ago. And so I met up with them over there in Colorado. 10 of us took pre-1930 motorcycles over and stayed at Lake Granby and did a couple-day excursion riding old bikes, kind of a little Cannonball trial, as you could say, I guess, just trying to do a little shakeout that we were going to do here to get prepared for September. Unfortunately, we're not doing that now. But still good to get out there, ride your motorcycle all the time, have fun with your friends. Here's a picture of the lineup of what we had. All pre-1930 motorcycles, had a couple of WLs in there. But other than that, it was a really good time, a lot of good friends. And we really went through some kind of some good training here. I don't know if here's a video or a picture of Willow Creek. This was the very first pass that we did, about 30 miles in, about 9,600 feet up. We just kind of took the 2-lane back roads as much as we could and had a good time. I think there's we actually even had some cannonball mishaps and some good times. I think one of the next did I send a video over?
I saw a video, Jason, of you guys riding along, and then somebody was driving a trailer in a sweep truck. Who was in there?
Oh, so we did have a sweep truck trailer. We had none other than Terry Richardson.
No kidding.
Unfortunately, he wasn't able to ride with us. He had just recently had a surgery on his shoulder or something like that, or so he told us. So he got to follow us with the sweep truck.
I saw 00 there. How'd Dutch perform for you?
Oh, did real good. I didn't take her on one of the major rides, but got to get her out and shake her legs a little bit. Did really, really well. All the bikes really did well. No major mechanical failures or anything like that. Everything was good.
Cole said Doug Wathke broke down, but Doug won't fess up to it.
Maybe I didn't get to see that one, but I don't doubt that he did.
Cole most of the night so he could understand what we're talking about here. So I think for the rest of the night I'm going to talk like this here so he can understand what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. So really good times over there. Good people, good everything. It was.
What's the latest in the Cannonball news?
Cannonball, we're trying to kind of unwind some of the stuff that we've had set forth to go this September, working with all the hosted stops, working with the hotels to try to reset for next year with 2021. So far, so good. I don't see that we're going to have any major changes. The only thing that I do see is that it's going to be bigger, better, and badder than it was going to be this year. So giving us an extra year to prepare on the already almost 2 years that we've been preparing for the route. It's going to be badass. So
Dave Courier called me today, and he was talking. He was like, thank God he has extra time. And I know David's like way ahead of the curve. So some of the other guys with the singles, I know they're going to have a little tougher time. But Courier is like, oh man, I am so glad that I've got extra time.
All those guys on singles are. I've been teasing them. They've been calling me and saying, "Oh man, I really got a lot more time to think about this, and glad that I get everything in more time." I'm teasing them that, hey, if you guys are riding singles, you guys have to pay a bigger entry fee now because you get that much more extra time to and practice and learn how to ride those things. So
yeah,
just kind of a little joke that I've been doing with a lot of those guys.
Yeah. Hey, check your cameras because I'm not getting the feed for you. Just maybe on your.
You can't see me?
I don't know. I don't know if the guests.
Oh yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Right. Very good.
Did I see me on there?
I see you on there.
So, heck yeah.
So again, like we always do every week, let's give the folks a little background on what the Cannonball's all about.
Yeah. So, this was going to be our sixth event here this year with the motorcycle Cannonball cross country endurance race this year with pre-1930 motorcycles. So you had to have a or a 1929 and older to compete in the event. This year we were planning on going from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to South Padre Island, Texas. We, hitting the East Coast in Myrtle Beach. It was going to be probably one of our most challenging routes. Not that were doing a lot of mountain passes and stuff like that, but we were having some challenges that we would see with different elevations. I think this was really going to be a big year to where the heat was going to play a factor. Just being in some of them southern states that some of these motorcycles and the people themselves would really have a challenge with some of the heat that we would see.
Yeah, it's a tough endurance race. I think it's one of the toughest antique motorcycle, if not motorcycle events out there. These machines are not meant to ride on these roads, so this is a good test.
Absolutely. So it's like every, we only have about 100 people step up every 2 years to do it. So it's not your weekend parade, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm seeing a lot of people. The house is starting to fill up. Bill Redenzel's out there. Walter Currow, Ken Stork, a lot of names that I recognize. Just shout out to those guys. For you folks watching on YouTube or Facebook, hit the like and share button. Bring your friends in. Tell them all about the show. Source Media has shows just about every night of the week. So, and Cris has this up on screen now. The like button, hit the like button, hit the share button. Don't do a watch party. It kind of interrupts your feed a little bit too. So like and share, tell all your friends, and let's grow our Cannonball community. So
yeah, there's nothing better to do than on a Wednesday night than watch this show, right?
Absolutely. Because what day is today? Jason, what's today?
It's hump day.
Hump day. So are you ready to go to the next segment? Or do you have something?
I don't know. I'm in such a daze. I don't even know what the heck we're doing next.
1,000 words coming to you right now.
All right. Check this out. We have our friend Rebecca Cunningham here live with us today for a picture's worth 1,000 words. How you doing, Rebecca?
I'm good. Hi, y'all.
I am super excited to have you with us, Rebecca, and you look great. And
thank you.
I am so looking forward to this segment.
I am excited to share this with you. This is a story I've told to a lot of people in person, because it means so much, and you'll know once I tell you the story. You'll know. Are we going to run the video first, or do you want me to go ahead?
For the people that don't know who Rebecca is, Rebecca's been with us for a few events now. I think since back to 2014, I think she first came out. She's been one of our official photographers with the motorcycle Cannonball. Not a photographer, more of a videographer for the last few events, including the cross-country chase. She's been in charge of all of our live stream videos also. So, when you're watching the live streams daily, she's the one behind the camera bringing you all that action. So just a little backstory on her. You have anything else to add to that?
She's just as sweet as could be.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Aww.
Everybody loves Rebecca. Rebecca, you want to set this up for us?
Sure, I will. So the video clip is from 2014. I was really tired. We were in Burlington, Colorado, and I had reached that point where I was just exhausted, and I was sharing a hotel room with Joe Sparrow. He's my travel buddy, or a lot of things. And I just told him that whatever was happening in that parking lot of the hotel that we checked into was the only thing I was going to shoot, and then I was going to go to bed. So I go to the hotel, it's its own story. We won't even go there. So I dump my gear, grab the camera, walk outside, and there were 3 teams in the parking lot. The first team on the far right was shutting down and putting up everything, putting their bike up. And I went, okay, no story there. So there's 2 teams. So I walk over to the team on the far left, and they started shutting down. So now I'm down to 1 team in this parking lot, the only chance I have to get a story, because I really do need to get some sleep. If y'all hadn't figured out, sleep deprivation is part of the Cannonball experience. So I go to this team, and they're working on the bike, and they're all speaking a foreign language, and I don't understand anything that's going on at all, except that they're working on the bike. So I shot the bike. Later, I learned a little bit more about this team, and especially this bike and its owner, Bartek Mazursky. So I'll tell you guys that after you see this little video clip.
Tomorrow we're going to the mountains, Colorado Springs, and by changing the sprocket, motorcycle gonna be slower but stronger. That's what we're doing mainly. And we have a concern about the condenser, when we're gonna replace condenser. That was that they've been making since 1930, I think 34 to 39. They make total 4,000 of them. I just want to show it to the public here that Poland also had motorcycle, and a lot of people say it's a Polish Indian, it's a Polish Harley. It's not Polish Indian, Polish Harley, it's a Polish motorcycle. But definitely it's a Polish-made motorcycle in Cannonball and probably crossing United States. Only one in this country, yeah.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah. So Bartek's motorcycle is a Sokol, and Sokol was made in Poland up to 1939 when World War II hit. In Poland, anything that was made before World War II is considered a national treasure and will not go out of the country. Bartek immigrated to the U.S. in 1981, and he came here with $100 in his pocket and a carton of Marlboro cigarettes. So by the 90s, he was doing okay, and he wanted his motorcycles to come to the U.S. So he and his wife would go to Poland, and based on I'm not even sure how to put this, based on what the Ukrainians were doing by coming over to Poland and bringing things over, I think he called it the ant theory or the ant brigade or something like that. It's like carrying things across the border like ants. Okay. So he and his wife spent years going to Poland, going through trash heaps and junkyards to find parts for the Sokol and bringing them back in pieces in their suitcases. This motorcycle that went on the 2014 Cannonball literally came to the U.S. in pieces over multiple years in their suitcases. Additionally, Bartek was working he lived and worked in Chicago, and he was in engineering and high-rise buildings, something I don't really understand. So I don't really know, okay? I do know that he and his wife had an apartment on the 21st floor of one of those big high-rise apartment complexes. and his wife gave up having a living room so that Bartek could have a shop because they didn't have a garage. They had an apartment on the 21st floor. So for many years, that's how Bartek was able to have motorcycles, have his Sokol in the US and his other motorcycles and be able to work on them, was because his wife gave up having a living room.
The question I have now, since the cat is out of the bag and the bike is here, can he go back to Poland?
He does go back to Poland, and he has
Do they
two
know the
Sokols
bike's
here.
struck out?
He now has two Sokols and a sidecar here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. So this bike came across on the Cannonball in 2014. It was just, a whole trip of firsts. It was the first time a Sokol had ever been on Daytona Beach. It was the first time a Sokol had been in Bonneville, crossed the Continental Divide, the whole thing. It was an extremely emotional time for Bartek. And it's just a really cool deal.
When did you find this out, Rebecca?
I did not find out the night that I shot that video. All I did was, like I said, I was just tired and I just needed to have something shot. So I sat out there and I shot it. And I was so tired, I was probably delirious because I kept thinking that I had walked into some mafia situation with these guys all speaking a foreign language, and which is absolutely not the truth. The older guy in the video is Roman, and Roman is a retired machinist from the Chicago area, and he and Bartek are good friends. So he came to help because he's Bartek's friend. Les is from Poland and came over to participate with them, and he loves motorcycles, and he is actually a Catholic priest, which I never did pick up on until I went back and re-listened to I shot another interview with Bartek later to get the backstory. And I went back today, I listened to his interview and he said, yeah, he's a Catholic priest. I went, how did I miss that all these years? I've listened to that interview over and over and over again. How did I miss that he was a priest? But he's a Catholic priest. He's come over. I think he was with Bartek on the 2018 Cannonball also. Bartek's wife had cancer, and he wasn't able to come with him on the 2014 Cannonball. And he was going to come to the 2016 Cannonball, and she was close to the end of her life. So he did not come with us, and she did pass away shortly thereafter. But he did come back in 2018, and he rode, I think, a 1928 Indian. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, 101.
Yeah, but they have all become just absolutely wonderful, sweet friends to me, just because I was too tired to do anything but shoot one bike being worked on one night.
That's amazing. And Bartek's an amazing person. And I mean, what a great story. I've actually personally never even heard this story before. I didn't realize that this motorcycle came to us in the United States like that. I mean, I've got goosebumps right now just listening to
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible
to that story.
Pretty incredible story.
Yeah. Well, and I get teared up even though I tell it to everybody because I love this story so much. I'm always telling people about the Sokol and Bartek and how this bike came here, and I still tear up from it because it's such an incredible story. And Bartek did say that he cried when he went to Bonneville. It was a very emotional thing for him.
I want to switch gears here a little bit.
Okay.
Rebecca, you're kind of a fixture with the Cannonball, and I ask a lot of our guests, and since you're one of our guests tonight, do you have a favorite memory from the Cannonball?
Oh, I have like maybe a million favorite memories. Does that count?
That counts. That counts a million times.
Okay. I mean,
let's hear one good one.
Do what?
Let's hear one good memory.
One good memory. Oh my gosh, I can't think of one. Give me just a second, because
Okay, do you have a bad memory? What was one of your worst memories?
okay, here's all right. It's not really Cannonball, but I'm kind of proud of it. So 2018, we had to be really, really careful about no oil drips in the parking lots of the hotels and other places. It was a big thing. It was a big thing. Okay, really a big thing. So I don't ride an antique motorcycle. I ride a semi-old FXR, but it leaks because it's
Old.
one of those. Yeah, it's old enough. Not old enough for Cannonball, but it's old enough and it leaks. So I needed to change my oil, and normally I don't care. I make a big mess because I can't possibly make as big a mess as all the bikes around me, right? Except now we've got to be really super careful about not making any messes. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to totally screw this up, because my FXR has the thing with the hose that leaks up onto the little plug thing, and it's like not the best idea Harley ever had. Okay, I did it. I changed my oil, and I did not drop any oil on the ground. I was so proud of myself. And I know that's not really a good Cannonball story, but the really good Cannonball stories of everybody, all the participants, they're pretty special, and I've just gone totally blank, and I'm so sorry.
Let's talk about your company real quick. What's the name of your video company?
Oh, my video company is Red Flyer Media. For the most
Tell
part,
us
I
what you
do. I do a wide variety of things. I love doing the Cannonball. It's my heart and soul, doing Cannonball and Chase. And I do live streaming for a lot of small businesses, and I do corporate videos and just a wide variety of things. But
so if anybody out there is looking for a videographer, we recommend Rebecca very highly as a privateer out there, working really hard, living in a tiny house. Tell us about your tiny house.
Oh gosh. Let me see. If I shake my hair, I'll probably have sawdust falling out because I'm remodeling it now. My tiny house is a short school bus named the Little Red Wagon, unless I'm cussing at it, which is what I'm doing now. I'm remodeling it and living in it, and it's kind of an adventure to live in 98 square feet and remodel in 98 square feet, but I'm managing to do it. But yeah, I've got a little bitty bus, and I've got a deck on the back to load my bike up so that when I'm not stuck because of COVID or remodeling, I can travel around, and I have the interior set up so that I can do live streamings and video shoots and edits and whatever for clients. So a lot of times I take the bus to wherever my client is, and I've got my house there, and I've got my office there, and I've got my bike there, and get busy and get to work.
And for those of you watching, Rebecca's not just another pretty face. Rebecca is not afraid to get dirt under her fingernails. Is that correct?
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, I've usually got, let's see, I've busted this finger the other day. This one is I'm about to lose the thumbnail over there because I busted it, and I've always got grease under my fingernails.
Rebecca works very hard. We see some of the pictures and videos she posts on Facebook of her working on her vehicles, and I'm just always amazed at the work she does. She's very talented.
Oh, thank you, Rob. You're a sweetheart.
Well, I'm just telling the truth, Rebecca. I'm a reporter now.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Reporter and commentator.
Commentator. So, Jason, you have any other words for Rebecca? Questions? I guess
think
not.
he froze.
Well, I guess at this point.
Oh, he'll let me know. So he'll send me a text at some point and go, "Hey, can you do XYZ?" And I'll say, "Yeah, I think so. Hang on."
Yeah. Well, I think, Rebecca, I want to thank you for coming on with us tonight. Really enjoyed this segment with you, and I hope you'll come back and share some more videos with us in the future.
I would love to, and I'll have my stories in my head and not go blank on you there too.
Maybe we'll get you some questions beforehand so we don't surprise you.
Okay.
So, with that, thank you for coming on with us, and we're going to take a little break. But before we do that, I just want to say, up in the upper right corner of the screen, over here, I guess. I don't know what I'm looking at. There's a logo roll of all our sponsors, and we'd like you to take a look at that every once in a while and consider our sponsors who help us out. We'd like you to consider helping them out by supporting them. And I see Steel Pony and Kiwi is up there, and there's a whole bunch of great folks. We just recently brought gyms in. They make great products. I've contracted with them personally to make products exclusively for Retrocycle, because we're striving to bring you the best quality product we can get, and Jim's helped us achieve that level. So with that, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back with our guests for this evening. So stick around. We got a lot more for you, and we got great guests coming up.
Hey, this is Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, and I want to thank you for watching the flagship show of the Source Media Group, Shop Talk. We go live with Shop Talk every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but it's only one of the many programs we offer from Source Media. In addition to that, Wednesday nights we have Cannonball Chronicles that looks into the life and times of cannonball racers as they prepare for this year's motorcycle cannonball. Thursday night, we have Bike Night Live that dives into the culture of bike night, the food, the bikes, and the fun of hanging out with friends, and we even have some live entertainment. Sunday morning, Cyber Swap kicks off, where we have a sort of home shopping network approach to motorcycle swap meets, and we bring guys on that have parts to sell live right there. All of this in addition to our staple programs, which are Grease and Gears TV, live on the street from the events and rallies, Grease and Gears Garage, and Grease and Gears Garage Roadshow. We look forward to bringing more of this type of programming to you from the home of Two Wheel Entertainment, the Source Media Group.
I felt like I really needed some direction in my life. And what I got out of it was a sense of purpose and, more importantly, to be part of a brotherhood. I started riding when I was 21 on sport bikes, like most of us do when we're 21 years old. Quickly, I transitioned into love of a cruiser. My perfect ride would be with all my buddies with me, riding on the coast of the ocean. There's something amazing about having all your friends with you in the perfect scenery all at the same time. My bike is a 2015 Harley-Davidson Dyna Fat Bob. My favorite upgrades to it so far are my custom fairing and my 16-inch ape hanger handlebars. My name is Brandon LaBelle, and I'm a Dennis Kirk rider.
Howdy, folks. We're back.
I'm back.
He's back.
Dang computer.
Jason, what happened? Did you hear some water running and you had to rush out of here, or what?
I don't know what the heck happened. I was just sitting here chatting, talking away, asking questions, and then all of a sudden, black screen.
It happens. Hey, can I check in? Can I check in with the Mobile One here and
Let's do it.
Find out if they've got anything from social media for us?
Oh man, we have a ton of people that are in the house tonight, and they actually had some questions from Rebecca, but I was listening to her story so much, and I think she's still on with us. Rebecca, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
People were asking how long have you done the Cannonball?
I started with the Cannonball in 2014.
Chris Snow says he loves your morning videos.
I'm so glad he does, because I love doing them.
So you started Cannonball in 2014. I'm sorry, what were you
Yes.
saying?
Oh, yeah, I did. I started in 2014, and I caught up with the Cannonball in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and because I had taken retirement, like got rid of the house, packed all my stuff up, and moved stuff into a storage unit in Houston, and left Houston and drove up and met up with them in Cape Girardeau. And the hitch was there was this production company that didn't have Lonnie's authorization to be there, who was they were pulling writers off the road, and writers were not getting in time. And it was a big, like this big drama moment was right before I showed up with my camera. And even though some of the writers and Joe Sparrow and a couple of the guys knew me, and Lonnie knew that I had planned on being there, I got mixed up with that bad production company. And so a lot of writers weren't really that excited to see somebody with a camera walk up. And as you know me, you know it's kind of a big camera. So it was a little bit of a bumpy start, but it worked out really, really well. Felicia assigned me to cover what was happening in the parking lot at night, and that ended up being such a blessing for me because I got to wander around the parking lot when the guys were working on their bikes and really get to know a lot of people, just like Bartek and the Polish guys. And I just love that. It's so much fun. But anyway, so 2014 I did that. 2016 I came back and I covered more things, and we tried doing live streaming, but we were still dependent on whatever the internet availability was at the hotels, which like for 3 hotels it worked out pretty good, and for the rest of them it did not. So when I came back for 2018, I made sure that I had mobile equipment that would go live, that was independent of all of that. So thank you, LiveView, for that. And then we were able to do all the live streaming. But I still shot stories. Y'all just wouldn't believe. I've got so many stories that still haven't come out yet from 2014. Well,
hold on to them. Hold on to them, and you'll bring them back to us on another segment, I hope.
Okay. All right. I will.
Right.
I will.
Thanks.
We have a lot of those posted on our YouTube channel. We have a lot of Rebecca's videos that you can see on our YouTube channel, on the Motorcycle Cannonball YouTube. She also has some on her YouTube. You know, when you're bored, go out there and check them out.
And where is that?
I just told you, Motorcycle Cannonball YouTube.
There you go. This thing ain't working.
That's your old age. That's not the headphones.
Yeah. Jason, we have a new sponsor with us tonight. You want to tell us about him?
We do. So I'm excited for this sponsor to come on board. The owner of this company that he just took over is a good friend of mine, has been for a few years. Love his product, love everything about it. Glad that he took it over to keep it going. This is a company that's been in business since 1974. I'm talking about Red Fox Enterprises, the glass jewel innovator, I guess you could say. So really cool product. Like I said, been in business since 1974. All this stuff is American made, American quality. You know, these really take after the 30s and 50s jewels.
These are real glass, right?
Many different colors, CAD plating. You know, he's doing the blue dots. These are used for, you know, license plate reflectors, saddlebag holders, you name it. I mean, there's so many creative things that you can do with these things. Me personally, I've probably bought over 100 set of these things to customize my different motorcycles. You know, with all the different colors and everything like that. So
It really adds.
I was happy for him to take over the company.
Greg's a great guy, but the product really adds a nice little detail here and there. Or some guys just put them all over their bike, and it's an interesting little thing, and every one of them's got a little bit of detail to them. So that's a nice product.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we actually consider this a safety item for the Cannonball too, because they are considered a reflector, and they do reflect light and help in low light conditions. When headlights or any other type of light reflect on them. So these are an authorized product for motorcycle Cannonball to be used as a reflector, which is required as part of the tech inspection for all the riders. So
right, and they can find them at it looks like redfoxenterprises.net. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep, he's got a website that you can get on there, figure out what you want, give him a call, email him, order anything you like. I'm going to do something special here tonight. Since he came on, I love this product so much. I'm going to do something special for the people that are tuning in tonight. I've got out of my own personal collection, I've got some of these. I'm going to give 2 sets away tonight, and here's what you got to do to win those 2 sets from my personal collection of the Red Fox tools. So you can go to motorcyclecannonball.com or cannonballstore.com, and the first 2 people that order Motorcycle Cannonball or Cross Country Chase merchandise on the website, I will throw in 1 set of Red Fox tools along with that order. So, you could get on there and order a $5 gift or a $5 item and get these $30, $35 beautiful glass jewels free with your order. So get on there, get them. They're coming from me personally.
I think we might lose our guests, our next guests. I think they're on the website ordering right now.
They might be. So how about we bring them in?
Well, before we do that, because I like to keep them waiting, but in the commercial that ran previous, the video commercial, they talked about best friends. That guy Brendan or Brandon or whatever his name was, talked about his best friends. I feel like when I'm sitting here with my best friends. And now I'd like to bring in 2 of my best friends.
Heck yeah.
Rob, here's your real best friend.
No! Get him away! Get him away, that troublemaker.
How's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing? Hold up there in Maui.
Oh, yeah. Well, we just had a...
Oh no, Rob.
Oh, he's got his own sound effects.
You shouldn't have. Oh.
Damn you. We're doing great. We're doing good.
It's hot here. It's sticky and hot.
I don't know. He's sitting so close to me.
That was for you, Pat. That applause was for you.
Totally. What time is it there? Is it about noon there?
No, it's about 3:41.
Yeah, 3:40.
Yeah. Hey, it's great seeing Rebecca. We love Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. Miss you guys. So nice to see you all.
Yeah, it's fun to see those little memories come back in the videos and stuff like that. I
remember that story. Yeah, that was a great story about Bartek bringing it over in suitcases. Everybody was talking about that in 2014.
Rebecca is one of those people that always kind of lifts you up whenever you see her out there on the road. We come in now, see her smiling, and makes you feel, I don't know, important.
Hey, Chris, these people were very important for me, so I dressed up for the occasion. You see what I got here, Pat?
Yeah, that's nice.
You know what this is?
Yeah, you like Thai food, huh?
No, this is Mai Tai.
Mai Tai.
Oh, Mai Tai.
I get it. Mix it up, baby.
Hey, I'm wearing this Effie shirt. Check this out. It's actually a company called Effie's
You can't
Heart.
do that on the show.
No, it's cool. I'm gonna give sponsorship, but it's Effie's.
What is this shirt? I tried to give this away, but no one wanted it.
It's hot.
It's rag. It's rag thing.
Now, this is a very popular shirt. Everybody tries to get it.
Retro
They'll
cycle.
never.
Yeah.
You got that right off my back, didn't you? It was
the
on
kind
the
of guy-
Robbie, what's that cost to
That's
endorse?
the kind of guy you are, Rob.
What's that,
That's
Jason?
the kind of
What that
person you
cost
are.
you to get Pat to endorse that shirt?
Oh, believe me, it costs.
I'm going to get it pressed and burned.
Pressed and burned. You didn't show the back where the iron went right through it, right? So some of you may know that I know these guys pretty good. I was their mechanic on the last Cannonball in 2018, and we had a great time.
We
But
did have a good time.
We did. Oh, we did.
I had a great time. That's all that mattered.
No, we had a great time.
Kept us on the road, Rob.
Cris has been involved with the Cannonball. Why don't you give us a little background in your involvement on the Cannonball, Cris?
I first heard about the Cannonball in 2009. Matt Olson called us and told us about it because Lonnie had told him and Matt was already signed up. And he said, "Hey, Pat, you should do it." And I said, "Yeah, you should do it." And you couldn't go because you had to work.
It was working.
So he told me I should do it. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know any better.
Didn't. No,
I
she
did.
said, I can't. I couldn't do that. Couldn't ride one of those bikes.
Well, I thought about it for a few hours.
She was, nervous about the foot clutch,
Yeah.
hand shift, and but she's got so many miles on a modern bike, and there really is a huge difference between a modern bike and an old bike. And once you're going down the road, it's the same.
Yeah, the new bikes stop better.
Yeah, but
There's some differences.
drivability, they're fine. They work the same. And so I said, you'd love it.
Mm.
And so I had the bike. I felt like I had the bike anyway that would be good. And how many years later? 10 years
Yeah.
later, the bike's
Mhm.
still running. And
Well, 11, 12 years because we took us a year to get it roadworthy. It was sitting in the garage for 25 years.
but 105 years later, I should
Mhm.
say.
Yeah, but we got it running and then we sent it off to California to get it rebuilt.
And your bike is named Effie. Give us a little background on Effie, and how did you come to acquire Effie?
I got it from
Dave Leitner.
Dave Leitner out in Michigan.
Mhm.
I went out in the wintertime. It was probably spring. There was still snow in the ground, I remember. And I went out with a friend of mine, Mark Allen.
Yeah, what year was that though? That was in the 80s, wasn't it?
Boy,
It had to be because you had it when I met you.
early 80s, probably.
Yeah.
And Mark says, there's this guy out in Michigan. He's got a bunch of stuff he's selling. You want to go? And I said, sure. So we got on a plane. We went all the way to Detroit. I think we flew to Detroit and drove out in the suburbs somewhere. We found Dave's house, and he had all these tin buildings all around his house out in this kind of neighborhood. And, that was when Sears was the only one that sold tin buildings, right? I mean, that's where you went to get your storage buildings. So we get there and start looking around the buildings, and, there's just stuff on top of stuff. And we saw a lot of really good stuff. And every time we'd say, Mark, how about this? He'd go, oh, no, that's not for sale. Oh, no, I'm not selling that.
Typical.
Oh, no. So I found nothing. He didn't want to sell anything. So disappointed. And Mark is a little more, he's a better wheeler dealer than I am. So he found this 15 all in pieces. And he said, if you'll put this bike together and get it running, I'd like to buy it from you. So Dave says, okay, I'll do it. And so, I don't know, a couple years later, Mark's got the bike out in California. He calls me up and says, hey, I got the bike, 15 Harley. It's running and all complete. You want to buy it? I thought you wanted it. He goes, no, well, I really bought it just to sell it to you.
It sat for a long time though.
So I bought the bike and I probably sat for about 30 years.
Yeah,
and that was kind of one of those things that, I'm going to restore this bike someday. It's going to be great. and never had the time, never did it.
Yeah.
And so when the Cannonball rolled around, Lonnie started putting the Cannonball together. I said to Chris, I think this is the bike. This would be a great bike, 3-speed, first year of electrics on the Harley. We'll get this Mag Dyno working. You'll have electrics and everything.
We took that off. It's the first thing we took off.
Well, it worked. We got it running, and it did work, but barely. But we got the bike running, and we rode it around Maui in different places.
We tried to find a straight road to like open it up and get it into third gear, but we couldn't find a road we could really go fast
we got it
enough.
into second gear.
Up around there.
Yeah,
So we're
curvy.
pretty happy with that much of it. And so then I called Steve Hunsinger and said, Steve, can you help us put this bike together? And he said, sure. We sent it to Steve, and he tore every nut and bolt apart on that bike and put it back together. And
we made several trips out there and helped, design stuff and certain things in the seat, and he had to make some tanks. And then I named it Effie after Effie Hotchkiss. I don't know if you know the story of Effie Hotchkiss. Was the first woman to ride across the United States in 1916 and 1915 Harley 11J model, same model as my bike. I found that I was like, I got to name it after Effie, and kind of do the ride in their honor. It was the same bike, even though Effie had a sidecar on her bike, and her mom in the sidecar knitted all the way across the country. And I told my mom, don't get any ideas. You're not going. But, so we got the bike running. They went out and did a bunch of trips and put a bunch of miles on it. The first day I rode, I'll never forget. Coming out, you sit up so high on these bikes. It's not like anything I'd ever ridden. And you're like, ooh, it's just so different. And I remember coming into Steve's and I clipped, nobody saw me. I clipped the fence and I kind of got my pinky in the fence and I didn't tell anybody, but it's just a really different kind of ride, but I fell in love with it. And then again, I don't think I had that many miles on the foot clutch when we did do this, went to the start of the Cannonball. Pat couldn't join us. So I had an all-girl crew, Team Effie. Laura Clock was my crew chief. Athena Ransom was my mechanic. And I had a girl, Toast, along to do some video stuff for us.
Boyd.
Her name is Toast Acacia. Her parents were hippies. She's probably watching tonight. Hi, Toast. And my daughter came along also. There's my crew right there in that one picture. But Pat came and joined us, I think, on day 4 because you were on the road in Chattanooga. I never forget. I was really happy to see you. It's like, oh, hi, I'm tired. Yeah, it was hard, because I didn't have that much experience when I got to the start. And I'm looking around all these guys, in the Antique Dale walks there. And, I didn't know half of them then. I'm sitting next to Buddy Stubbs, who, Buddy Stubbs is like a famous racer, I got to know everybody. Like you said, it's family. You become family so fast, But first day was tough. I got lost like 5 minutes after the start. It was nuts.
I was excited because, the best guys in antique motorcycling were going to be there. All the guys that I knew from, going to meets and reading and about them and seeing them here and there. And so I was excited that all these guys, this event was going to bring those kind of the cream of the antique motorcycling community together to do that ride. And it certainly did, because all the great, and a lot of people that I had never met before and that I didn't realize were such amazing fabricators and artists and mechanics and crazy people.
Yeah, we didn't even know how, we were talking like, we don't know how many bikes we're even going to make it. We thought maybe a couple would make it. I think out of the 46 that started, I think 36 or 38 actually finished the race in 2010, which was incredible because nobody knew. Lonnie was like, I don't know if it's going to happen.
All bikes 100 years old, or what was it?
Yeah, it was 15 and earlier.
90 years old and earlier.
Yeah.
At that. and we learned so much.
Yeah.
We thought we knew. I thought I knew a lot about old bikes, but
I didn't know shit.
I didn't know nothing.
Okay, I knew shit about nothing.
We learned some. We're still learning. You never
I
quit
didn't-
learning.
I didn't know how to read a road chart. I'm like, I'll just follow along. I'll figure it out later. Like I said, I got lost 5 minutes at the start. I'm like, everybody went that way, and I'm like, no, okay,
It's kind of complicated. The race is a little bit complicated or the run is a little complicated in terms of navigation and finding your way through it. So.
Jason, you got anything you want to add to this?
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Okay. The Cannonball. It started with
I think we lost Cris and Pat for a second here, guys.
okay. Are we still live?
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the comments that we have on the screen.
I think I'm back. You got me, Robbie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I think I'm back. So I'm not sure what the heck's going on, but we're going to keep pressing on.
Right. So do we have any social commentary that we need to talk about here?
No, but I can tell you who the winners are of the Red Fox Jewels.
Well,
Or do you
who
think
are the
it's
winners?
a secret?
I'll tell. No,
Maybe they'll see it when it comes in the package. What do you think?
Jason, you already said.
I don't know. I hear the boss off camera. Can we see Leanne?
Tell him.
Can we have Leanne for a moment while we get Cris and Pat back here? I mean, Leanne's a big part of the Cannonball. There she is. There she is. There's the person who keeps the Cannonball running.
Absolutely.
We know the mouth of the Cannonball, but there's the mind of the Cannonball right there.
Well, sometimes I'm the mouth too.
Well, I'm not going there. I am not going there.
We do.
Leanne,
We do have 2 people that have made an order, and I think they should be allowed to know right now.
okay. Well, there's that. The boss has decided. So,
All
what
right.
do we got?
So one of the winners is Cannonball Rider. I'm trying to build a bit of suspense right here. Number 64, Dave Courier.
All right.
Thank you, Dave. The second person to win the Red Fox Jewels is Chris Matthew from Arizona.
Yeah, what the hell?
Awesome. Thank you guys for your support. Make sure you guys check out redfoxenterprises.net and stock up on all your guys' jewel needs.
So, Cris and Pat,
I'm there, I think.
we had winners of the Cannonball Jewels.
Right.
It
wasn't me.
The Red Fox Jewels were won by Dave Courier and who else?
Chris Matthew.
Nice. And we have Leanne. Say hi to Leanne. Chris?
Hey,
Pat?
okay, there we are.
Can you see us?
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
We got you.
We have Leanne. Say hello to Leanne.
Hi, Leanne.
She's
Oh, yeah.
Great to see you.
Great to see you. And now I'm
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. We just went away.
So where were we? What were we
I don't know
talking
where the
about?
hell we were, but
we
we were talking
wanted-
about how we got lost the first day.
Well, we wanted to have Jason ask you some questions about.
Okay.
I went to get a cowbell.
Yeah.
So the question I want to ask is going back to 2010 with Chris actually preparing. I don't think we really touched on it, but how much preparation did you have prior to the 2010 event I mean, this being new to everybody,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious of how early you started and what you did to prepare.
Yeah, we started really
what was going to happen.
right. We started really early. We started like
about a year,
at least a year and a half
in advance
before,
putting the bike together.
Enough to get it running on Maui just so I could ride it a little bit, like about 10 miles.
Yeah, we did that first here.
Yeah. And then we sent it off to Steve into California. Then we would go back and forth and spend time there riding it.
But you got a couple 100 miles.
Probably. I had about 200 or 300 miles on the bike when I got to, I don't know if I had that much even. I think I had about maybe a little less than that. Steve had broken it in a little bit more than that. But when I got to the start, I was like, and day one was really hard for me. I remember being really like, I got run over in the gas station. Some lady ran over my foot. I was bending over my foot was sticking out, and she parked on my heel. And I couldn't take my
like a car?
Yeah, like a big SUV. She just pulled up behind me and parked right on my foot. And I'm yelling. And she had the air conditioning on. It was North Carolina. It was really hot. And I'm yelling, get off my foot, and I didn't take my boot off. You weren't there yet. And I remember getting to the hotel that night. And, I didn't cry in that Cannonball. But I got in the hotel, and I remember taking my boot off, and it was all purple, my foot. And I called him, and he's like, you could, you don't have to do this. You could just come home. It's not a big deal. And I'm like, what, are you kidding me? I'm not going home.
Go, you don't have to prove anything to me. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. Just, you did it. Come on home. She goes, no way.
I'm going.
What?
So we did okay. We had some mechanical issues. Had some a rocker broke.
Yeah.
We had
luckily I had extra rockers.
Yeah, we had some parts, but I missed a little bit here and there. But it was okay because the best part about that was getting across that finish line in 2010. That was incredible.
It was kind of interesting because things would break, and I tried to bring along a lot of parts and odds and ends, but you never, something breaks that you're not counting on. So it would happen, and I would spend hours just combing going around and around the parking lot, going from shop to shop or trailer to trailer, scouting parts. Do you have a bolt like this? And I have one, but it's longer.
Dale.
We can make it work, and I'll make it work.
I lost a couple bolts. I remember Dale finding me one in his shop and cutting it off on his little saw in there. And, it was like that. Everybody helped everybody, and it's still like that. That's the first Cannonball special. The first of everything is usually special anyway, But the fact that it was such a small group, we were all at the same hotel every night. Everybody got to know everybody else. And like I said, people would share parts. I loaned my magneto to Dave, and when he needed one. So
Dave Betancourt,
lost
his magneto, and we brought along an extra magneto, so
we loaned it to him.
He and I changed it out, and I don't know, somewhere in the South somewhere. I can't remember, laying 100. In the 90s, it was really hot, laying on the pavement.
Oh, he's laying in the dirt.
Trying to change a magneto, keep the timing correct.
I know the feeling.
Oh man, it was intense.
Yeah, we had a magneto in 2018 go out, and that's when I did cry. That was my first real tears on the Cannonball. Nobody saw me, and I admitted it to Rob later. But oh my God,
that's a Cannonball record, right? Didn't you tell me today that that's a Cannonball record?
What, for crying? There's no tears on the Cannonball.
I cry every day.
No crying in the Cannonball.
Well, I cried. I think I've teared up a few times, and it's just so, you're so tired. It's an endurance race, and you learn what that word means because it is exhausting. I don't care how, you can, people ask me, how do I train for the last one? I told them how I trained. I slept and ate as much as I could. Because when you get out there, you don't eat. You're eating weird food, or Dave. You should have Dave Minerva on. I'm a slave driver.
I was just going to say, I hope Dave Minerva is watching because he's going to talk about granola bars.
Yeah, I don't let Dave eat lunch. You don't eat. I don't eat lunch because if you break down, you have to bank that time. I want to get in on time. That's my thing. And
you get me nervous if you do. So.
You talk about what are your great memories of the Cannonball. the best memories are just when your bike's running and you're going down the road. Those are the good memories.
Yeah.
Everything else is.
And the pulled pork. I mean, you know, right?
but to me, everything else is the marathon.
It's
It's like
struggle.
running a marathon.
Yeah.
You work at it pretty.
Yeah.
You're thinking or working through the ride, and the riding down the road is the most wonderful. Those are the memorable moments, and so there's really a lot of them going down the road in these beautiful, looking off and seeing the beautiful.
I still have nightmares.
scenery
So I still have
and,
nightmares of things breaking, and parts falling off my bike and stuff.
but the things you remember,
Yeah.
they're not like, oh, it was so great this time. It's like
Yeah.
you remember, oh God, remember when my, the handle fell off and it was hanging there, and I lost control and went into the grass, and then I recovered.
You
and
did?
I almost killed myself, but
You did?
but those are the memories that are like crazy.
Yeah.
Finding-
2010 was intense.
Surviving.
Finding a stick to fix the leak in your where your plug
Oh
fell
yeah.
out.
Was that in 2014 or 20?
That was my first.
Oh no, your first Cannonball was 2014. We didn't ride in 2012.
Yeah.
We didn't ride in 2012. I didn't think I had the right bike, and I didn't know I could take Effie. And I came along as part of the crew. Again, there's a way to, you don't ride, but I came along as the staff. I flew into Milwaukee to do a talk for Harley, and I decided to run away with the Cannonball Circus, and I joined the staff. So I helped pick up bikes and was helping the sweepers. But in 2014, you rode. I think was it 2016 when that thing fell out. I don't know, 2014.
I really didn't know, that much about JDs. I just kind of thought, well, I think I know enough, and I got out there, and I would say probably a quarter of the way through, I blew my intake valve, my front cylinder, and it really wasn't working through most of the ride. I was pretty much riding on one cylinder through most of the
We
event.
couldn't figure out,
and I just couldn't figure it out. It was like such an easy fix. I had no idea.
Finally we figured it out.
Finally, I figured it out. I fixed it in about 10 minutes, but I had to, pull the assembly, the valve assembly out, which is really easy to do, which I had no idea how easy it was. But I forgot what I was going to say, but that was kind of,
Well, Rob was talking
struggled.
about when you the oil. I think you lost an oil plug
Yeah, it was
in the bottom of your oil crank.
That was.
Yes.
I had so many crazy things happen on that ride. The craziest thing that happened was we went up through on Lookout Mountain, and that was the route. So Lookout Mountain in
the rain
in Tennessee, right? So above Chattanooga there.
Mm-hmm.
I got lost, and everybody was gone. So I'm by myself
in the rain
with Greg.
Oh, Greg was following you.
Greg Allen.
Greg Allen, right? And so I got lost, totally off course, everything else. So I find this road that comes down from Lookout Mountain, and it's switchback curves all the way down. There must have been 100 of them.
In the pouring rain.
In the pouring rain with, virtually no brakes, right? So I'm coming down that mountain in first gear on one cylinder, barely running on and off. A lot of times I'm just coasting. Finally get all the way down into Chattanooga. The bike dies. I pushed the bike all the way through the town of Chattanooga, all the way through I get almost to the Coker tire.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to get that bike running because you can't push it in. You got to be running coming in,
you can
right?
push it in.
Can you? I don't know. But I bump started it, pop, 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 pop. And I get down, I come around the corner, and it's still running. And I pull in. I'm the last guy in at 5:30. The sun has gone down, and I'm coming in all by myself. Was one of the worst experiences of my life. I thought I was going to die coming down Lookout Mountain and, pushing that bike for literally miles. I pushed the bike. Yeah. But I made it in, it's like.
We don't always ride together too, because I'd already been broken down. I think that's when
I wanted to address that. What's it like a married couple on their anniversary every time riding the Cannonball.
Well, I've had to leave him on the side of the road a few times. It's really hard.
It's good. Well, last time, you built my motor, Rob, so it ran like perfect for the whole thing. So
thanks, Pat. But
I
I'm talking about
2014,
it's Cannonball. Happy anniversary. See you later.
Yeah, I know. I had to leave him a few times, and then I ended up riding by myself in 2016. For a lot of it, because my whole team was gone. We started out in Atlantic City with Scott and Sharon Jacobs, and Scott got hurt right when he fell down and hurt his shoulder, and then Sharon went off with Scott because he had to get surgery and stuff. And I think you and I rode together for a while, and then you broke down on your 14 Harley. You blew the timing case on it. I mean, we were hammering those bikes. We were riding pretty hard in that day.
Yeah, I had my 1914 2-speed
somewhere in Missouri,
up in the running 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, we were in a hurry that
day. Too
day.
Fast for that old bike, but
I blame myself. I was pushing him, and then something happened, and I think I started riding with Dave Minerva. We had the giant rains, and I mean, that was the same day. I think I had to leave. It was rainy. It was weird.
Oh my God!
It was just it's hard when you want to, but I'm like, hey, I can't help you. I mean, I can only do what I can do. We couldn't fix it. So
our whole lives not our entire lives, but a huge amount of our lives is devoted to motorcycling. So, I mean, we met in Sturgis, South Dakota. That's how,
89
crazy.
I picked him up.
We are about motorcycling. And, so being on the Cannonball, having your anniversary is, to me, it's like the greatest thing in the world, because there's really nowhere else I'd rather be. I'd rather be on the road riding and, being with Cris on our anniversary. It's like, woohoo.
We
get to celebrate again motorcycles.
We've had a lot of
each other,
times.
our lives. It's just,
I mean, we've had breakdowns, but we've had good times too, like riding through Colorado in 2014 and going through, going up the mountains up in Loveland Pass. I think we did like 3 or 4 passes in one day in 2014. That was some crazy mountain riding in that one. And then going
on one cylinder.
Yeah, you were going one cylinder, and I was like, "Come on, we got to get up the mountain." We get to the mountain, everybody wants to stop and take pictures, Yeah, and I'm like, he's like, "No, we're not stopping." We just kept going, Same in 2016. I think we did the same. Just keep going.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention to our audience that you're a founding member of the Doobie Brothers. How do you make this work with your professional life of performing on tour?
I just.
He has a sound effects button. It's not working.
Never mind. I have to ask for the time off to do it.
He plans ahead.
I knew it was coming, and I shared it with guys and said, can I have this time off to go do this? And everybody said, sure, go ahead.
But 2018, you only could do half of it. So you made it. The halfway point was Sturgis. So he bailed out in Sturgis to go back on tour. And I just kept going with Dave Minerva, my riding buddy.
Cannonball's not about, everybody's winning just having the opportunity to ride their old bikes. And there's nowhere else probably that you would ever ride that far on an old a bike that old. The Cannonball affords you that opportunity to do the ride, have some backup, not feel like you're going to be lost out in the middle of nowhere, having to hide your bike in the weeds and come back 2 weeks later to get it. I
did that.
That's what it's all about. For anybody that wants to, challenge themselves and have some fun and get that old bike that's been. Hey, shut up.
Who's that? Oh, there your sound effects just went. What was that? A toilet flushing? Oh God.
Cole Deister just texted in and he says that he's got your wallet. Something about your wallet.
Yeah, remember that day?
Oh yeah,
I think we took off without you because you were like you're still working on your bike. So this was, I think, 2014, and we were riding down the road, and all of a sudden he shows up next to me. He didn't have his roll chart, and then we find pieces of his wallet, like his driver's license here, the credit card.
Yeah, my wallet fell out of my pocket somehow, and
forgot about that.
Was everywhere, all over the road. Somebody found the wallet with something, my license in it, or no, my license was out on the road too.
Your license was broken in half.
But I found every single thing in that wallet, every credit card, every
2 or 3 people picked them all up, and we met at some gas station.
People found them, and then I went back out on the road where I dropped it. I found everything that was in my wallet.
Check your statement, because Cole bought a 402 not too long ago, a couple years back. So check your credit card statement.
That was my 402. He bought that. I'm supposed to get that, aren't I?
The Grim Sweeper bought it.
The Grim Sweeper. Oh my God. Yeah, I keep thinking about Lonnie whenever we talk about the sweeper, because the first sweeper truck, it was like before Halloween. All the Halloween stuff's in the store, and I found a little plastic skeleton. I tied it on the antenna of the truck, and that was the Grim Reaper. Bill Wood and I, in there going to catch people. Well, it was 2012. The Grim Reaper. Yeah.
I spent a lot of good times in that bus.
In the bus.
The short bus.
Can you guys stick around for a couple minutes? We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
Sure.
Thanks for the warning.
Good on.
All right.
I joined the military straight out of high school because I felt like I really needed some direction in my life. And what I got out of it was a sense of purpose and, more importantly, to be part of a brotherhood. I started riding when I was 21 on sport bikes, like most of us do when we're 21 years old. Quickly, I transitioned into love of a cruiser. My perfect ride would be with all my buddies with me, riding on the coast of the ocean. There's something amazing about having all your friends with you in the perfect scenery all at the same time. My bike is a 2015 Harley-Davidson Dyna Fat Bob. My favorite upgrades to it so far are my custom fairing and my 16-inch ape hanger handlebars. My name is Brandon LaBelle, and I'm a Dennis Kirk rider.
All right, we're back.
This is Chris from Cycle Source Magazine, and I want to thank you for watching the flagship show of the Source Media Web Shop.
We're not back.
That's funny.
All right.
So, Pat and Chris, I know that you've had many adventures on the Cannonball. One of the adventures that I really like to follow you on was a non-Cannonball event, being your adventure with the 110th. I think it was 110th anniversary for Harley Davidson. Give the people out there a little bit of what that was about.
Well, Pat and I decided between it was 2013. We were going to ride our bikes from Sturgis to Milwaukee for the 110th anniversary. So we trailered out to Sturgis, and he was riding his 14. I was going to ride my 15. And I just did like a little Cannonball route, like all back roads, and it was so fun. Just the two of us. My brother drove the van, the Muffin Man, Rob knows him. And he would just the Muffin Man would just take off. And I didn't know where he was, whatever. If I needed him, we'd call him. But it was just kind of fun. Just the two of us, we'd stop in little towns and, poke around places and eat lunch, stuff like that.
A lot of fun. We came up through Wisconsin, up in the mountains. A lot of people don't realize there's some beautiful mountains in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Bill Redensel helped us with the route coming into Milwaukee. The Wildcat Mountains.
Man,
little mountain range.
It was spectacular. Just a great ride. Beautiful country. Great roads were really neat. Cute little towns. We stopped and found some, cool little mom and pop restaurants. Just neat stuff. We just
fun.
had a ball.
Yeah, and Vicky and Pan met us outside of town. Vicky Sanfilippo met us on the outside of town, and Bill, and and they rode in with us. And it was kind of fun. It was kind of before all the people got there, so we kind of slipped in before the big crowds came in. I think you were playing there that year too. You guys were playing.
Right,
So another reason we had to be there, And then it was great hanging out with Bill and stuff. But what a fun ride, And then Bill actually rode Pat's bike in the parade. Like the old bike,
I had to leave, but in fact, Bill pulled my bike up next to a brand new
2014 bagger, and he parked right next to him. This model gets off the bagger, and she says, "You shakes her hair and all that, No, and we're going, hey man, nobody realized that bike that she parked to is 100 years older. It was pretty cool. But that was a fun ride. Yeah.
It was. And I got to spend some time with you guys a couple of years ago at the 115th of Harley Davidson, right before the 2018 Cannonball, before we took off up to Portland. That was a fun time for me and Leanne to get to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our bikes on display. Well, the Harley Museum sponsored us for the part of the ride, so that was kind of fun to spend some time with you guys and setting up every day, and just Glory. I think Glory and Lori were there. My little posse, my best buddies, and we had a good time. And then we went off to the Cannonball.
We almost got arrested.
Oh yeah, Jason. You remember that? Oh my God, Bill and Denzel. We're gonna ride in the parade, but then we okay, we're gonna go in the parade, but then we want to leave the parade.
Bikes were getting really hot because it was real slow.
Jason, you should tell this story. Let him tell the story.
That was a great time. I mean, one of my best memories of riding old bikes was actually in that parade. After we got done with the parade, instead of going into the grounds like everybody wanted us, we ended up making a U-turn right in the middle of the busy intersection. Cops were yelling and screaming. And then it was from that point,
pull over,
which was crazy. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 of us on pre, 30 machines.
Right. Mike Lang was on his 10 or 11 Harley, and Bill's bike had died.
And we're downtown lane splitting in downtown Milwaukee. Museum through all the traffic. I mean, the look on people's faces of us lane splitting.
Lane splitting on old bike, cops yelling at us.
Speaking of cops yelling at you, Pat, do you remember? Do you remember on the 2018 Cannonball? Can you tell that story?
I got pulled over, and
well, you're right. I wasn't riding with you that day. I think I
was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it was you and Dave, Minerva, and Jody.
Yeah. They were in front of me, and we were in kind of this little town in Pennsylvania, and we were coming up on an intersection, and some lady was stopped there, and she was waiting for somebody. She was double parked, and so she waved us around, go on around me. So Jody goes around, Dave goes around, and I went around. So I get about a block away, and I hear this weird sound, and it was a weird siren. It was a cop car, but it didn't have that regular siren. It was making like whoop whoop. I thought, oh my God, my bike, what's going on? I thought I'd blown something up, and it was a cop, and he pulled me over, and he sat there and yelled at me for like 20 minutes. That I had made an illegal turn and pass, and you bikers, I'm getting sick of you bikers. You think you can do anything you want. I'm sick of you bikers on the road. God damn you.
I thought it was more like Barney Fife. Barney Fife pulled you over.
I feel I should take you to jail right now, and I said nothing. I just sat there and kept my mouth shut, and I felt like saying, no, fuck you. Ooh. What are you talking about?
Good thing
he was like, he was prison. Oh yeah, he was, like in his 20, maybe 30 years old.
Oh, Barney.
And I go, well, this is like a 95-year-old bike here that I'm on. And he goes, I don't give a damn how old it is. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I go, oh, okay, well, I'm really sorry, sir. I'm really sorry. So he just yelled at me. He says, and you could tell your buddies I'm coming for them too.
To Jody and Dave.
I go, really? I go, coming for him. Like, what?
Oh, that's okay.
So
He didn't get arrested.
Anyway, when it was all over, he goes, "Okay, get the hell out of here. I don't want to see your face in this town ever again." I go, "Okay." So anyway, I couldn't believe it. I thought for sure he was going to give me a ticket after all he put me through, but he let me go. It was wild. And I was on a hill, of course, trying to start the bike on a hill. And it was scary. But anyway, I made it.
Yeah, I love that story.
Well, thanks a lot, Rob. What do you love about it exactly?
I love the way you tell it.
Oh, okay.
Joe, I like the way Jody tells it too. I didn't know where Pat was.
Yeah, they were waiting for me up the hill. They actually waited for me, so for a while.
Yeah, you have fun riding with different people. You have little groups you ride with here and there, and Jody's always fun. Feinstad's always hysterical on the road. Dean's always super intense.
Actually, Jody did not wait for me. Dave waited for me.
Jody took off.
Jody waits for no one.
Oh.
She's on a mission.
She is.
Yeah, well, she don't want to be late.
Yeah. Tell me how we all met.
Good question. I don't know.
Well, it was because of what? The Cannonball, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And so I feel like you guys are my family now, I mean,
well, we're not, Rob, so get the hell out of here.
Never mind. I'll just forget about that whole thing. Hey, go to hell, Pat.
Thank you.
We talk to Rob all the time. Rob and Beth are awesome people, and they came and visited us. And before the you guys timed it perfectly, because right after you guys left, all the shit hit the fan. So
you just opened the door. So the whole thing about the tie tonight is Pat. We all went out to dinner. Beth, Chris, Pat, and I went out to dinner. And Pat told me that this restaurant, which was fabulous, had the best Mai Tais. Had I ever had one? Never had a Mai Tai in my life.
Look at the glass.
So we had one Mai Tai, and Pat looks very sheepishly over at Chris and goes, "Can I have another?"
Oh, I'm driving. He can have all he wants. I don't care.
Chris goes, "Give me the keys." She took the keys. We had another. And I'm like, there's not much to this thing. Well, I took 2 more sips, and I'm like, oh, my God.
And, Rob, they're the size of a fishbowl, okay? They're like this big. They're big.
And they're delicious, too. They were delicious.
Yeah. I mean, but how many did you guys have?
No, we only had 2.
We just had 2.
2? I couldn't have. Yeah. Maybe.
Then we went back and watched TV, didn't we? I mean,
I think we watched The Pick of Destiny.
So that's Mai Tai.
That's Mai Tai. Yeah, that's awesome. No,
so with that, we're out of time. Out of my time, it's now Jason's time. Jason, you want to close out? Pat and Chris, great talking to you again.
Hey, thanks, Rob.
Yeah, brother. You guys.
Say hi to all our Cannonball family out there. We love you guys, and I hope we can all get together again soon.
We miss you. Hopefully,
you guys.
We'll be back on the road.
Definitely, sometime.
I'm hoping to see Effie sometime soon.
I'm going to be seeing her. Well, she's in California right now. I miss her. It's bad. I know. I'm thinking about her in that cold, dark trailer. We'll be together soon.
We're coming over. We're going to come over here in a
sometime.
month or so and
maybe
ride them around a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do some riding.
Get back out on the road.
But have a great time in Sturgis, Jason, and say hi to everybody. And,
we'll miss you this year.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, one last thing, Chris. Next week on your show, you're going to have some Cannonball people. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got Sharon Jacobs coming on with me. We rode together in 14 and a little bit of 16, and she's an awesome rider and such a good person. And then I think I've got Dottie Mattern coming on, who rode in 2014 at 70 years old. She's an awesome person and just on and off the big motorcycle family, and we'll have some fun talking about more Cannonball stuff. So
yeah, Dottie was on a Sports Scout.
Yeah, she's a great person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The people that don't know, real quick, let everybody know when they can see it, where to see it.
Well, you can see me on Tuesday nights. He's not working right now. I'm the only one that's working. But Tuesday nights on Coast to Coast, same station, 9:00. And then my website, Facebook, chrissimmons.com for my books. I've got Cannonball books in stock again. They were sold out for a while. I got some more of those in the American Motorcycle Girls books. And he's taking a break right now.
Check out Doobie Brothers, Dave Mason, Sammy Hagar.
Oh, yeah,
Mike
that's really
McDonald,
good. It's more cowbell.
Cowbell.
Mick Fleetwood. Yeah, Feeling All Right. We did a at-home isolation.
And you got another one he's doing. He did a Playing for
It's
Change.
Dave Mason and the Quarantines.
The Quarantines. That one's out now. And then there's another one they did a Playing for Change with Taj Mahal playing Peace Train.
Not Taj Mahal.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kev Mo.
Kev Mo. Oh.
Nice.
They're the same guy. You never see Kev Mo and Taj Mahal together anymore.
That's true.
It's like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Peace Train. Kev Mo sang Peace Train, and myself and some other musicians. People from all over the world do the Playing for Change videos. Said pretty interesting.
Is that live now? Is that out yet?
Not yet. Should be out next month.
And another one with Peter Frampton. So he's doing stuff from home.
And then I heard about there's going to be some song about the Cannonball at some point. I don't know.
Oh gosh, when's that coming out?
Yeah, I have a song called The Cannonball. Just kind of waiting for the record company to give me the green light to get it out there for the Cannonballers.
Cannonballers.
We can't wait.
Yeah. So everybody say goodbye to Cole.
Bye, Cole.
Bye, Cole. Hope you understood half of what we said tonight.
You can crate that Indian up and send it out to me. I'll be waiting.
Shame
out
about
to California. I'll pick it up.
It's a good story, though, don't you think?
I think so.
I think so too.
Shame about Donnie. So, anyways, thanks everybody for watching social media. Thank you very much. Thanks, Pat and Chris. Jason, you want to take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Really great show tonight. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Ike Works of Milwaukee. Chris Tribby, thank you for your support. Jim's, of course, Red Fox Enterprises. I'm at the Rocky Mountain Motorcycle Museum in Colorado Springs. I don't know if we should mention this guy up here or not, Retrocycle, but thanks to everybody that helps support us for bringing you this show every week. We're having a lot of fun doing it. We're hoping you're enjoying it. You guys have been sending me some really, really great ideas of people to have on the show. We've been trying to contact those people, so hopefully we'll see them here in the future. Again, watch the website. Check out our Motorcycle Cannonball YouTube page. We're releasing videos on there weekly of 14, 18, everything, rider videos, all that kind of good stuff. Until next week, when we bring you another episode of Cannonball Chronicles, I'm Jason Sims along with Robbie Nussbaum. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.